You know how you cut that.
Oh,
you
wait,
turn the stream off.
Are we live? Oh yeah, we are live.
Are we live? Yo, Ryan looks like he's on
minutes.
the casting couch.
What? Oh,
the background.
Yeah, you know that's Ryan's. That's Ryan's. That's Vanta's richest house. You know, rich house. You know.
It'd be like that.
Aren't you jealous, Olga? Don't you wish you had a house like that?
No.
Oh, nice.
Wait, nah. I'll walk into his house. 1 second. There we go. I'm here. I walked in. I'm here.
Get out of here. Get out of here, kid.
Wait. Why can't I have a background though? Y'all are this
because you don't know where Ryan's house is.
Wait.
you don't know.
Oh yeah, sorry. Because I use Firefox, I can't use it. It's like because you use Firefox, you can't use it. Yeah, saying your device isn't powerful or anything of the sort. Wow. All right, I sense that. I feel that. But first and foremost, welcome on in everybody to the ServoCast podcast, guys. Where this is a Warhammer fantasy or 40K podcast where we talk all things Warhammer for the most part. Today we're going to be talking about the Tyranids here. You know, our boy Bongo's here, our favorite best girl who goes by Death Company Lover because he loves, I guess, the Death Company. Like, I can't get out the fact that you look like a straight redneck, bro. You look like you about to ask me, yo. Like, look like you about to ask me, yo. You want to go hunting?
I got a nice post out in the woods.
That's exactly what he looks like. We're about to go. But yeah, we're gonna be talking about the Tyranids today. But before we even get into that, as you guys know, my name is Disparity here. I'm gonna start off by saying one of my I fell in love with Warhammer, really fantasy ever since 2016. And then I gradually started getting into more of fantasy and also more of 40K. 40K because of sci-fi. I mean, it's two loves that I love. It's fantasy. Well, fantasy is fantasy. 40K is sci-fi. And so, as of recently, at least this past year, I've been getting more and more into Warhammer 40K. I mean, I'm usually the majority of the video games. I started just this year, a little bit last year, getting into the models and stuff like that. So, as you guys know, my favorite armies is the Daemons of Khorne, and also the Blood Angels as a Space Marine. So that's what I like to go with. So Bongos, what about you, sir? Tell us a little about yourself.
What about what I like about 40K or me?
Yeah, what do you like about 40K? Like, what are your favorite armies?
Well, to be fair, I guess I do have a favorite army, and I have them right in front of me. The Orcs, they'll always be my favorite. There's something about them. They're really near and dear to my heart, you know? I love them. They're my favorite faction. They've always been my favorite faction. But besides all that, Space Marines, good second pick for me.
Yeah. What chapter is Space Marine?
Go ahead, bro.
My man just dropped something. What chapter of Space Marines do you like? Is this a specific chapter? Y'all hear me? Oh, hold on. I get it. Hold on. Okay. No, I was like, y'all hear me?
my mic fell. Hold on.
No, I said, what specific chapter of Space Marines do you like?
Oh, me or Ryan?
You Bongos, you.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, my mic fell and I couldn't hear. My favorite chapter obviously is Blood Angels because the name Death Company Lover. They are part of the Blood Angels.
Nice.
They've always been one of my favorites. If I had to pick a second, I don't know if the Grey Knights are a part of them, but I love Grey Knights too. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, Grey Knights are pretty badass. And later on, within the next couple podcasts, we're gonna be talking about the different chapters of the Space Marines and stuff too. So if y'all want to ever learn some more Warhammer 40K lore, we usually do lore night at least once or twice a week in Discord. So in the Discord, it's available for anybody to join. Just pop on in. We can talk about it, have fun, have a good time on that. Now, Vante, what about you, sir?
I don't know. It's different aspects of which ones I like, but I would say somewhere between the freaks and the black dragons, I think they're called, and the maybe the carcinogens. Basically, okay, the black dragons are the ones with the they have bone blades on their arms. They're basically one of the ones from the foundings that went wrong.
Yeah, black.
So they have black. Yeah, there you go.
I pulled them up right here, so I knew.
Thank you. Yeah, I like that idea of okay, they're freaks, but they they're still cool and they're probably like hanging by a thread when it comes to like, should we get rid of them? It's like, but yeah, I like that, and also the Carcinoids because they're like, I think that's what they're called, the Shark Boys, the ones. They're also, and
Yes,
shout out
sir.
to the Lamentors, who are also technically Blood Angel foundlings.
Wait, so go back to you, Bongos. You said you like the Blood Angels, right?
Yes.
I did not know you liked Blood.
You do not know I like the Blood Angels.
I mean, you never spoke about.
Have you
your love
seen
for
my
them.
Steam
before.
profile picture? My Steam profile in general.
Sir, do you think I just look at Steam like that?
Yes, you do, and I know you do.
You suggest I just look at
My
Steam
whole
like
Steam profile is dedicated to Death Company and Lord Sanguinius. Okay, I'm a simp.
Yeah, I am. I'm definitely gay for
goddamn
Sanguinius. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely gay for Sanguinius, so it's all good.
Well, it's the most thing. I like the Death Company because I like what they really stand for. And it's just like it's the same thing as like Corpus of Death Krieg or whatever the hell their name is.
Mm-hmm.
They're literally the same except one Space Marine and the
check
other is
for-
Marine. I mean, whatever.
Let's see. Let's go ahead. All right, and so, like I said, today we're going to be talking about the Tyranids. So if you guys don't know
I love
who the
Tyranids.
are, the Tyranids, to give you guys a small glimpse of what they are a what's called how would I say a bioorganism or whatever.
Y'all ever played StarCraft?
Basically,
they're Zerg.
they're basically a Zerg. Yeah, you're not wrong about that. They're basically a Zerg. So the way how the Tyranids are is that they're an extra galactic race that's like the Thorn and the Imperium's arm, dude. Like it's like a boil that's just festering there, and that's what the Tyranids are. Like the one thing about the Tyranids is that I want to say this. For what I learned is this: they don't hate anybody. Put it like that, right?
Well, they're animals.
But what they want to do though is that they're a hive mind that want to feast on organics. Basically, they want to go to a world, kill everything in that world, and then move on to the next world. They want to increase their hive mind. I mean, that's how they are. And so the Tyranids here, they're from an extragalactic race or from a different galaxy. Put it like that. So what you can assume is that they ate up their galaxy, and then they came out, to the I think it's still the Milky Way galaxy, and they started fucking with the humans. I mean, the humans humans has a long history, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So Bongo, since you are a Tyranid kind of guy, tell us what you know.
I'm not a Tyranid kind of guy.
I know. Well,
I took fucking notes. But yeah, I mean, honestly, the Tyranids are not just a thorn. Well, okay, except for the orcs. The orcs just like fighting in general. But and also Necrons. Necrons can beat them easily. But Tyranids is a threat to everything in the galaxy, basically. And there's one, I think it's a theory. There's one theory that the galaxy right now is surrounded by them. That's one theory. And that's something that I find fascinating about the Tyranids, is that they could be a world-ending event and galaxy-ending event. And it's awesome and scary at the same time to have such a race with so much power. And they're not even that evolved technologically. Like they're animals. They're literally everything they're made out of is biomass. I
mean, they are a hive mind, so they have to like be. there is one central computer or one central creature,
muted?
of course. And so, yeah, he is. Ryan, you are muted in Discord.
Oh no, he's muted in. Hold on, I have this muted. Hold on. Hold on.
Damn.
Okay, I'm good. I can hear now. Yeah, we're good. Okay. I can hear now.
No, it was me. It was a local.
Yeah.
I muted because I had to say something to Marcus.
Oh, okay. Okay. But yeah, so like the Tyranids, they are, that race that like they are like Bongo said, they're organic or not, right? But they have to, again, they have to feast on worlds, and so they do have a hive mind, sort of say like a main computer or a main entity that kind of basically tells them what to do. So the cool thing about them is that because they're a hive mind, they can be anywhere across the galaxy, and that hive mind can still instantaneously give commands on what to do. Like if you want to take a world with a flick of a switch, the entire hive fleet knows what to do. Like. On how where to get there and stuff, which is really fascinating and pretty freaking unique in my opinion as creatures of the galaxy.
I talk about this a lot. I don't know in Discord because I talked about it yesterday. Another fun fact about their hive mind is they have these things. I don't know if it's specifically them, gene stealers that can make gene stealer cults. and those specifically can dart out of the hive mind and make their own type of hive mind in that one spot they're trying to take over. That's one of my favorite things about them.
That's interesting because it makes a twofold threat in the sense that even long after they've conquered a world or whatever, they go over to, a Space Hulk or, even leave the world and leave some gene stealers nearby just in case any survivors come along, they get infested, they spread it to another planet, and by basically a freaking living virus, they just spread and make everything worse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's terrifying. And I love them for it.
And freaking awesome.
And so, speaking of which, for anybody that's new to like Warhammer, whether like if you're in the chat or whatnot, Warhammer first off is a great, or Warhammer Fantasy or 40K is a great series that anybody can get into. And I would say that from the bottom of my heart, it's so like the lore and everything about it. Warhammer 40K or Fantasy is so cool. Like it's just amazing on what they can do with it. If anything, to like get into the medium, I would say the first thing to do, in my personal opinion, is probably get into the games first. That'll kind of ease your way in. Then once you kind of get used to like the games, then you could possibly go over and start playing like the looking into the modeling, or just read up the lore of each faction or each nation within the universe. Like I always say this is that, I mean, it's going to take a while, of course, but like Warhammer is pretty much untapped right now. I mean, it's been Warhammer has been a thing for the past 30 years, right? 35 years since the 80s. And so, and it's starting to gain in popular media, like in today, like currently now, it's going to be, what's that word before? It is untapped. It really is.
It has untapped potential, but it's not untapped. They are
potential.
I
don't because it hasn't hit mainstream yet. Like that's where I'm trying to go at. It hasn't.
It's getting there.
It's getting there. It's quickly getting there.
Like to me,
it's one cartoon show away, one sick ass cartoon show away from being awesome.
And
I think they did make
once Henry Cavill gets into it, as soon as another big name Hollywood actor gets into it, that's it. It's the Games Workshop just needs to make that animation studio real quick, and then there you go, or that VFX studio, and we'll have another potential Disney Marvel franchise going on. I mean, that's probably not I mean, that's probably Games Workshop's end goal, but like, I don't know if that's the end goal for the fans. A bunch of shitty, mediocre movies after the other.
Yeah.
What's God if Chris Hemsworth comes out? He fucking gives us a shitty ass fucking movie, bro.
So what's crazy to me? Oh, go ahead, Ryan. Go ahead. You sound like you're about to say something important.
No, I was just gonna say I unironically want a bunch of like half-assed Warhammer 40K. Like I know somebody did like an AI? What would it look like if Warhammer 40K was like an 80s dark fantasy sci-fi movie?
I think someone did it on Twitter, right?
Yeah, it was like they made the AI do it, and it was these weird. I should pull up some pictures if you can, but it was these weird, just like big suits of armor type deals. And I was like, yes, I would like to see that. That's more exciting than anything Marvel has ever made.
Facts, freaking facts.
Yeah,
I would definitely agree on that. What's really cool from what I know of the Tyranids is like picture this. So a lot of what we know from the Warhammer 40K universe, right? At least for let's just shorten up to instead of the universe, let's just go with the galaxy, right? So all we know is from within this galaxy, correct? But what's crazy enough that the Tyranids are an extragalactic race. So that means that these guys traveled from another galaxy into the void, as in the void is the space between each galaxy. So they could have been going from galaxy to galaxy to galaxy, and then eventually it's like, okay, what's next? The Milky Way. So like you can imagine that these creatures probably started within the Andromeda galaxy, right? Ate up everything in the Andromeda galaxy, then moved over to the Magellan Cloud or something like that, and then to the Milky Way galaxy. And so that's something that's really interesting. And they're a hive mind, so like it's like I wonder if they went to if they were in like some type of sleeping. I mean, like hyper sleep, I guess, because they're a hive mind. They have to feast, they have to eat, right? I would say eat each other.
I think they eat each other, and they constantly can keep going through that. Process.
What's crazy is that when you really think about it, though, the Tyranids actually remind me of the Skaven. It's like they're. I want to say they probably are the 40K Skaven.
Pretty much.
When you think of it, yeah,
they're
In a way.
with less betrayal. With less betrayal. That's really it, though. I mean,
Wait.
yeah, because they do the most mutations and freaky shit like Skaven do,
Yeah.
but like
So-
they don't have like
Well, just
those
the
specific
fact that
things.
there's just numerous amounts of them,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they're just like it's not an enemy you beat in numbers. It's an enemy you hold back. Yeah.
And so, Mongoose, keep going. Can you tell us more about the Tyranids, my dear friend?
Telling us more about the Tyranids.
Yeah, tell us more.
I mean, what do you want to know?
Everything.
I have what their armies entail, or do you want to learn about high fleets or armies
give us
entail?
give us a little bit about their backstory for the people that want to know.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Hold
Yeah,
on,
the
I need to
backstory,
pull up
yeah.
the thing then. Hold on.
You can start there.
Now, was Keemstar involved with their backstory plan?
No. No. There's no gnomes in that.
You can talk about like their first meet up with the first Tyrannic War, or are we going from when there may have been first noticed as
I want to say first notice as a threat.
because
It's crazy that it's like when you always think about sci-fi, like they never. What gets me so mad is that they always had like this great expansive lore, right? But like I want them to make a game, or just it can be any game, but like I want to see a game where humans meet first contact with aliens. Like, imagine you're like, hey boss, man, hey boss, we're exploring this brand new planet, going, just going through conquering shit, whatever, right? And it's like one of your squad mates just gets eaten alive. Just think of that shit. You're just like, well, this is first contact. You're like, what is this creature? And that's how it starts. And then because travel in the 40K universe, unless you go through the warp, it's not instantaneous. So like that information could take years to get to like the next to the next planet, or to like the next high planet or whatnot, right? For the Imperium. And so they won't even know that they're being attacked until it's too late at that point. So like most games don't even explore like first contact. Same thing with with Mass Effect. Mass Effect will tell us about first contact, but they never done anything with that. You would be like, oh, they made first contact with Tyrians, but that was it, But that's just to make my point. But go ahead, my bad. That's just
Now, the
interesting.
first contact ever in the galaxy?
Yeah, with the Tyrians. Yeah, with the Tyrians. Yeah.
well, supposedly, I don't know if you want to start, but like supposedly they've been around for a hot minute. They just didn't really. They may have colonized some world because there's evidence of like supposedly certain organisms being on certain planets, like certain organisms like the Catachan devil or something like that, and
Yeah.
other creatures, strange creatures like that. And I think it was confirmed the Yamarl. I guess we'll get there, but the Yamarl gene stealers were from a specific hive fleet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think there was like at one point, I think, what was it? How do you pronounce this? Cyphus Kane supposedly found a hive ship that had crashed like several millennia before, before any like colonization on a specific world. So that kind of says they've been around
It's
for a
the
hot
most
minute.
interesting part about the Tyranids. They don't have like any major warp drive. They're slow. Like when they're in space, they are going normal speed.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see why their ships could crash over time, because like something fucked up in there, or they fought something else. And then
They use what was it? A specific type of ship. It was called a aside from their hive ships, it's called a. I gotta find the name of it, but basically it's supposed to use like gravity in a way, or it creates like such tremendous gravitational pressure that it basically creates like some kind of well that basically slingshots them through space. I don't know the exact science, but it slingshots them through space fast enough to get them to wherever they need to go, and it also coincidentally messes up the planet that they're intending to go to in a way.
Yeah, I don't know the exact name of it either. I was gonna just guess Ancient One, but that's probably not it.
Yeah,
that's like, the name of the one. Yeah, that's the name of the one in the game. What's it called? Galactic Fleet, whatever.
Gothic.
Yeah, that game. It's in that one. That's like the main ship in the campaign. Besides that, I don't know any of the names of ships. I only know certain things.
Wait a minute. Did you just compare the Warhammer to Buzz Lightyear or the movie? No,
not the movie. What are you talking about?
Well, he's talking about I think he's talking about the traveling in the show in in Buzz Lightyear.
Oh, talking about the movie where he like spins around and then goes back every single time.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So
I mean, that's not really it. They just kind of go.
yeah, he's talking about the slingshot. Yeah, the slingshot.
Okay, there we go.
So what's interesting
Amy?
is that like
Okay.
yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah,
What's interesting is that the Tyranids, they are attracted to the Milky Way galaxy because of an Astronomicon. It's like the Emperor, basically the psychic ability of the Emperor through the Astronomicon, and
well,
so
it's
that's
just
why.
also a lot of psychic energy is happening through the Milky Way right now because
Yeah.
there's chaos, there's Eldar, and there's also the Emperor happening at the same time. So there's three major things that are like a beacon to them right now.
Yeah.
That's why one of the first sightings that they ever like had in the galaxy. Now this is like technically like this wasn't for the
Narval.
Marines yet. Say again.
The Narval, sorry, that was the
The ship.
Yeah.
And once again,
but I believe the first sighting was from an ancient Eldar, the ancient Eldari.
and if you guys have any questions about Warhammer Fantasy or 40K, feel free to ask. Like, there's no wrong answers. Put it like that. Ain't no wrong. Or that's it. Answer me questions. There's
Or
no wrong
look at the
questions.
wikis.
Yeah, I'm just
Like-
looking up stuff on the wiki.
Yeah.
I got it
Like,
right here.
Like we
Or
are here.
buy a what you call it?
A book.
A book.
Yeah,
codex.
yeah, a codex book. Yeah.
Might as
So
well.
if I-
I mean, I
If
want to
I
buy
re-
some of the books.
If I recall, there's like what over 400 books in the Warhammer. Yeah,
There's a
that's
lot.
as I remember, over 400. Yeah.
There's a lot.
So yeah,
Oh,
Warhammer.
I
Codex,
don't know. Yeah, the codexes are important too. They actually
Yeah.
are. They tell you
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah. Like looking here, with more if it within the wiki here, like it's just crazy to think like how. God, I cannot wait. Huh? So, that's right. See, okay, so there is a video game, by the way, that's called Battle Sector. Okay, I recently just beat it myself. Love it. That's how I fell in love with the Blood Angels. Like Blood Angels are amazing. Their world of Baal was destroyed by High Fleet Leviathan. Basically, it consumed Baal, and so what High Fleet is like a gigantic fleet. Just say, yo, y'all hungry? Go get that planet, basically, and that's what happened to the Blood Angels in their homeworld, or one of their homeworlds is that it got consumed by the High Fleet.
Yeah, Leviathan went in
And
there
so-
and they fucked it up.
And so within Battle Sector, you're going back into Baal to take back Baal, to basically take back Baal for the most part, and like that is amazing. And so definitely it's one of those games that you should definitely try and play for yourself. I mean, it's not a hard game to learn, but like learning about like how the Blood Angels have to fight back their whole world. That's another thing. That's just the reason why I fell in love with that.
Oh yeah.
Meeting certain characters and stuff. And I think
Also, Leviathan, when you think of Tyranid colors, that's the one color that you think for most Tyranids too. Also, that's the most interesting part about
if
Leviathan.
I recall, in Warhammer in Space Marine 2 that's coming out, High Fleet with Leviathan may be the main villain or enemy for the most part. So I think because the colors look like it's their colors, of course, because Tyranids factions have distinct colors, and so the Leviathan has that distinct color.
You can tell it's Leviathan. They have purple back and they have a pale skin. Their armor is purple and their skin is pale.
Yeah. That was definitely them then. Yeah. So like just seeing that come to life is like honestly.
It
But yeah,
is High Fleet Leviathan. I wonder how they got there. Chilling.
well, for what it looks like from me, like dissecting like the trailer there. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, I'm about to play it for y'all. But for me, like dissecting the trailer, I believe they're on a paradise planet. Basically, they're defending a paradise planet.
Yes.
As before in the Imperium, the paradise planet is planet where you want to go there to vacation, chill, live life to the fullest, yada yada with you.
Wait, can I share the screen for the trailer?
Yeah, actually, we should play the trailer. I think how do I?
Is it showing it?
Yeah, there it is. I wonder if there's sound for it though. That's the question.
Well, no better thing than testing.
It does feel like there's no sound, but we can watch it though. Okay, let's see the link full screen here. You guys probably can't hear sound, can y'all? I wonder. Just
Is it not full quality? Whoops!
my
Sorry,
man said.
it looks like shit on my screen. I don't know why.
That is full quality. Look at like ass.
Oh yeah.
Look at it. Perfect now.
Hey.
Look at all those Tyranids.
So you must click on the button that says
Damn,
share
they look
audio.
good, yeah.
You must
Share
click on
audio?
Yeah, it's called share audio. Yes.
How do I do that?
There's a button. Sorry, you guys, our first time like really using this. So it says.
Right there.
Yeah. Okay, you got it.
it.
All right, so watch the trailer, y'all. Look how thick this is. You may have to turn it down just a little bit, but let's see.
I'll turn it down. It is bursting my ears.
Now look at this trailer, you guys.
We are the defenders of mankind against the horrors that dwell in the darkness. While we draw breath, we stand. While
Oh my God, that's
we
awesome.
You can see
We
my
fight.
activation with the button there. It is really good looking.
We
You can
are
compare it.
the angels of death. We are the blade drawn against the endless night. Nothing will survive our wrath.
Got warriors. Oh my god, it looks so fucking cool.
There's another trailer. Look for one that's by Sony. It was at TGS 2021. I was like 2001. Whoops. It's typed in like 40. It's typed in like 40K trailer. Space Marine 2, and it should come out. It's like a Sony trailer. Yeah, second one.
Oh.
No, it's a two. Go back. The second one, yes.
Gotcha.
That's the one. It's 2 minutes 34 seconds.
Oh, this is the
This is the big one.
this is the good one. They showed this one in the Game Awards.
Company, come on! This is first platoon.
It's got the Emperor's flashlight.
Can't hold it.
Look how tough they are.
Jeez.
Jesus, they did not hold back in this trailer.
Fuck decap.
There's a bigger Tyranid in the background.
Do what?
There's a bigger Tyranid in the background. Alright, no, I'm not tab this. Oh shit. Sisters. It's pretty cool seeing him back too.
Yeah.
It really is. See, I get goosebumps every time I watch that trailer.
Because it's nice. It's nice to actually be able to play a Space Marine game again.
Yeah.
Almost left the fucking studio. I didn't want to do that. But,
Wait, like-
yeah, it's really hyped seeing that shit, and also seeing Tyranids back in like, because we haven't had a Tyranids in games for a while now.
Freaking Manboy said it's like they took my life and put me in the game. And, like, it's literally what it. Because I mean, Well, of course, the first game. Of course, the first game I just recently beaten. Of course, in that game, it makes sense with the orcs. The orcs is like another major horde faction, I guess you could say. And then Tyranids will probably be the next step. I mean, you can't really do the Eldar like that because Eldar they only got such
the
a
Eldar. The Eldar would never raid a planet like that.
Now Necrons
they don't got the
got the manpower. Yeah, the manpower. Now the Necrons maybe
they
Necrons
could do a Dark Eldar though.
That they can do, but yeah, it's just like. The 40K universe is just very epic, and just seeing like the Tyranids come back and flesh like that. And here's the thing, by the way, when it comes to 40K or just Warhammer in general, there are some good games, there's some bad games. It's about there's probably about 60 to 65% good games, and then probably about the remainder, 40-35% terrible games. Like because you got to pick and choose, or just look at the community and see what they say about this. Like. See certain games like they're not all bad. It's just like certain things, certain aspects. It's because these games were basically indie games for the most. A lot of Warhammer games are indie. Very few, and I mean very few, are AAA. Like Total War Warhammer 3 or that series, and also Space Marine. Those are all. Because if my understanding is correct, we haven't had the one and only true AAA game. Yeah, AAA Space Marine game was literally Space Marine. Yeah, it's the only one. AAA. That's it in the 40K universe. I mean, unless y'all can think of another one, because the remainder are just what do you call it? They're just it's indie games for the most part. Again? I said, have you seen
AAA Warhammer games?
Yeah,
the last one was
Space Marine.
Was Space Marine.
That's it. Yeah.
What's it called? And the latest one that came out, Dark Tide. That's not AAA. That's just
that's double A. Yeah, it's double A.
Made by Patchwork. They don't make triple.
Delegated to like random studios and other projects, which is cool because at least you get variety. But my only thing is, so many of them are like strategy games.
Yeah, they keep hammering strategy,
which isn't bad. If you're gonna have a tabletop game, it might as well be a strategy game, especially as the scale gets bigger and bigger and bigger. But if you want to tell personal stories, you can come out with some cool shit.
Yeah.
Like what was that? Necromunda. Yeah. Hive and what was the other one?
Because I have the majority of Warhammer games. I have the good majority. Let's see. I have a Total Warhammer.
Good ones that came out recently was apparently Shooter's Blood Teeth. It was not. That's definitely not AAA.
There was one
that's a good one.
I think there was one that was recently delisted, or maybe recently as last year.
Oh, I don't. Hal gave it to me. Warhammer 40K Kill Team.
Yeah, it was Kill.
Was it Kill Team?
It was Kill Team. Hal gave it to me because it got delisted.
I thought it was like Aeronautica Imperialis or something like that. What was it?
Oh, this one got delisted too. Oh, that might be another one then too.
That's tragic.
But after playing Kill Team, that game's fun. It is like Diablo, and it's really fun.
Why did it get delisted?
It's old, 2014, old, and no one really plays it anymore.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
it doesn't have a capable. Oh,
it was something else. Let me see if I can find it. I will. But
interesting.
Anyway, we're gonna go down.
Why was it?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's crazy. Like seeing like a high fleet like that. Now, I do want to. There are so keep this in mind. Keep this in mind too. It's like. We're going to talk about chaos in one of these episodes of our podcast here. Now, as you guys know, when chaos, when the chaos when like chaos or the warp gets involved with like any faction, especially the Tyranids, like they create their own mutations. Of the Tyranids as well.
They're a genetic mutation, chaos variants of Tyranids, and they don't serve chaos. They're just genetically mutated. It's so weird. Like there's Nurgle ones, there's Khorne ones, there's Slaanesh ones, and then there's Zeech ones.
And
we'll mutated like that.
We'll get more into that at a later date for sure. Because I think I want to say like the next episode we're going to focus more on the Imperium of Man and also the space.
Oh, you want to go easy mode? I see.
Well, we got to learn. Well, they got to learn about the bad guy, good guys, which are the Imperium Man, the bad guys and good guys. Because keep in mind, y'all,
in the world, say they got to learn about the good guys. We are not talking about Tau.
In the universe of 40K, y'all got to remember, there's no good faction. Everyone's just there to live, basically. It's just World War III for no apparent reason. Okay, there's a reason, but everyone, there's just no good factions there. I mean, the Tau are the closest thing you'll ever get to good.
Because
even
their god
then,
is literally the greater good.
But other than that, it's you got to deal.
It's kind of weird because a lot of the humans actually go join Tau. A lot of them go off of the Imperium on their own.
I mean, if you want to be really racist, you would just join the Imperium for the most part.
You could offer them a Lunchable. They'd probably go over to Tau. Lunchable and a warm blanket. That's nice.
It's hey, I don't want to be a part of this zealot fucking cult thing anymore. Tau, can I join you?
I can see it. I can see it now. Paramount human dating an Eldar or whatever, right? Having a family Eldar. Honey, do you want to go to the Imperium, man?
Is that heresy?
Yeah, no, that's probably heresy. That definitely is heresy.
Hey, if Gilliman can have an Eldar GF, okay, I can have a Tau GF.
It's funny to me whenever people bring that up.
It's so weird.
Wasn't she Dark Eldar too?
Is she Dark Eldar? Gilliman. Girly man. Dark Eldar?
That's crazy though. So
Yeah.
the Tyranids do not build their starships or weapons from metal or and plastic like the other intelligent races of the Milky Way galaxy.
I think it's just an Eldar.
Yes, it's as I said, they use gene splicing and bioengineering to grow from their organic biomatter harvested from the planets.
I know nothing about
that.
Man.
That's crazy. Now that's crazy.
Well,
I think it's just normal.
The Tyranids, they consume their planets, but in order for them to make ships, they gene splice and also build it out of bioorganics. So the Tyranids also remind me of the Uzun Vog. If y'all don't know, that's a Star Wars faction or whatever, who are actually galactic as well, and they do the whole bioengineering stuff where everything's made out of bio, nothing no mechanical or AI shit like that. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty interesting. That it's really cool, concepts with these sci-fi stuff, what they can do with sci-fi. It's just the problem.
Anymore.
It's just the problem with sci-fi in general.
Yeah.
It's just the problem with sci-fi in general is that it's just they don't want to put out the good stuff.
I'm telling you, 40K is the good stuff. They gotta focus on that. Give us some shitty movies, bro. We'll be alright.
No, as long as you don't give it to Disney, because they're going to Disney-fy it. They're going to make it a drama, a love story.
I don't think Disney would want to take 40K.
Nah,
it would be kind of hard, because has Disney done anything bloody yet?
Nah. I can just imagine now it's going to be like a princess story. A space marine falls in love with an Eldar princess.
Yeah, Gilliman. Well, we already have that.
Yeah, that's how that story ends. Immediate execution.
Immediate execution. You die. You're not allowed. Grey Knights invade your world.
I'm sure you can make some fan fiction of that.
But guys in chat, do y'all have any questions?
Space Marine chapter of half Eldar, half Space Marine warriors.
Sean, back that forehead up. Yeah, that's what I thought. God,
this is getting really gay.
This is weird. This is very strange.
I'm not about that, Sean. What did you make me do? I'm talking about high fleets. Fuck you.
So you brought it up, bro.
All right. We'll start with high fleet behemoth.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Now I believe this was I think it was with the first Tyranic War was high fleet behemoth.
Mm-hmm.
And it took, I think, Ultramarines, White Scar, and Imperial Navy. So it took 3 whole different parts of things to even combat it. And I believe they destroyed, it's a lot, 745 million of all of the people combined for Ultramarines, White Scar, and Imperial Navy. And
Damn.
that war, because that was the first time I believe they ever met them, was High Fleet Behemoth. And it was...
The World of Tyran, was it not?
Say again?
Was it the World of Tyran?
Yeah, World of Tyran. Right? That should be World of Tyran.
Damn.
I gotta look more. They still won Imperium of Man. They still won. which was good, but they lost so much people out of it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, hey, we have billions
That's
of human lives.
where
Hey, we
Martin
got humans.
Smelgar.
It's like, look,
Yeah,
we,
Calgar.
He got his arms and legs chopped off.
Well, look.
Yeah.
We have
Yeah, he
millions. We have millions and billions of human lives at your disposal who believe in the Emperor. Hell yeah, we're gonna have some losses there.
But it's the scariest thing. This was their first encounter with them, and they
Yeah.
lost so much people, and they had the Ultramarines with them.
Yeah.
Those guys are like
Yes,
gods.
yes.
But I believe they smartened up after that.
If I'm not mistaken, it was Krypton, right, who first saw them, or first. No. If I'm not mistaken, it was I think one of the first worlds they were discovered to have been on, or at least conquered, was Tyran.
Tyran and Primus. Yep.
That's where they were named after, because
Yeah.
that was the world we saw. And then I think it was Krypton who first just investigated, found like a message or leftover message of like that was in the center, in the core of the planet or something like that, and then found out that that's basically the whole world was consumed and every defensive measure was like overwhelmed.
Yeah, because it was originally being held by the Mechanicus, the Robo guys. Yeah, it was 3,000 meters below the planet's surface, and that message was there.
Sick.
3,000.
It's so interesting they had to go so deep to hide it because the fucking planet was getting fucking mauled on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jaga also, which is
gotta
the
be it.
homeworld of the freebooter orcs.
Hmm.
I think they found out about Behemoth there too. But you know, orcs, they fought and just... Yeah, wait, no. Yeah,
You know what
hold
this
on.
means?
Yeah, they went to the homeworld
We have
of
a new
Jaga.
enemy. We have a new fight.
The fleet was once a major threat. Fought the Behemoth in the Great Naval Engagement, but eventually was destroyed. So yeah, that's how Behemoth, I think, was shot down, was the freebooters. Or the freebooters were shot down. I don't know. One of them were shot down.
Probably the freebooters.
It was probably the freebooters. But I remember because that's where in what's it called? In Dawn of War 2, they talk about that.
Yeah.
But
Really?
it's if you pick
Gotta
that
play
guy
that game, man.
specifically.
I've got to play that game.
Yeah,
There's a lot of games you gotta play.
because the
Put it on the
campaign for the orcs, it centralizes around the freebooters.
The freebooters.
Yeah, the freebooters, pirate orcs.
Hey, you know, and I'm here to showcase some Warhammer to you guys because y'all nerds out there, we need more Warhammer people, especially tips.
There's plenty of
Tips at
Warhammer
it.
people.
I believe.
Especially tips.
A lot of people are into Warhammer. We just need more.
We would get Jay involved, but Jay he too old. You know, like he keeps
Oh,
trying to brush
yeah.
it up.
Old?
He's too old.
Yeah, he keeps trying to brush it up. We're like, Jay, come get into this Warhammer. He's like, nah, bro.
He's like 1 year older than me or something like that.
Yeah, he probably is.
Too old.
Or like, we might be the same age. I don't know.
But another fun fact about the Tyranids, I think they completely counter Psychers completely.
Ah, yes. Shadow in the Warp.
They completely counter them 100%, and it's my favorite part about them because I
Yeah.
believe if you think you're about to like warp out of somewhere, the Tyranids can just say no, you're not going anywhere. And they can completely shut that down.
Stop.
Yeah.
Not
It
today.
is. It's a very terrifying thing because I don't even think the Emperor might be able to warp out of something like that, but I don't think he can.
I
There
mean,
was
he's kind of dead, kind of.
No, but he can still warp.
No,
That's the whole point of
Yeah,
feeding.
that's
So no. There was one Space Marine, I believe. It may or may not still be canon. I gotta find it, but
I'll
it
look it
was I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was a it may have been Ultramarine, if I'm not mistaken, an Ultramarine Psyker who was like the one person able to look into the Tyranid Hivemind, if I'm not mistaken, and come out fine. Just to show like they used to. Let me see if I can find that story. Well,
Psychers connecting to the Tyranid.
it's fucking Google so fast.
God, how would you not just? Okay, this is a Reddit post. Reddit, get the fuck out of here. Oh, ain't helping.
Hey, sometimes you find some good nerdy people that know that go on Reddit.
The
You know
problem with Reddit.
No, he just asked the question. He said,
Yeah.
"What would happen if a psyker looked into the thing?" And it's like,
Varro
that's not what I
Tigarius.
looked up.
He's the chief librarian of the Ultramarines.
Yeah,
Varro
chief-
Tigarius.
yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, I can find it. All right.
You will find it, my child.
Well, he already found it, didn't he? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I
So,
saw it.
okay, so specifically it says, Tigarius has also been able to turn his talents through the threat of the Tyranids in ways no other psyker has found possible. His predictions about their movements has been so accurate that it's almost as if he tapped into the Jizalt consciousness of the hive mind, a feat that has driven lesser individuals insane.
Hmm.
I wonder what you see when you're in the hive mind.
You probably
A
some
bunch of
fucked up
eyes,
shit.
a bunch of mouths.
Bunch of eyes, bunch of mouth.
Yeah,
Seems like
some-
it's devoid of ego. It just seems like it's hunger.
Oh yeah, you probably would just see nonstop emotions of hunger and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Overwhelming. Supposedly that's what the Shadow Warp is, if I'm not mistaken. Just an
yeah.
overabundance of like psychic communications and links that's just going on, and it's so oppressive. It stomps you out.
God, that would have been very fun.
Yeah.
You know, speaking of which, what's your-
Oh, Legacy. Okay, also in Behemoth, they had the famous guy, the famous Tyranid called Old One Eye.
Yeah.
you know, speaking of which, what's your favorite Tyranid kind of unit?
Oh, you want me to talk about that?
Yeah, what's your favorite unit?
Oh, there's a bunch actually. My favorite one. Hold on, let me get it. Okay, we got. Okay, they don't have them on the list, but my personal favorite is like the biggest one. I don't. It's like a Biotitan thing.
Is it,
Hierophant?
you're talking about-
Yeah, Hierophant. That thing is my favorite, and the reason why is because I downloaded a mod for Dawn of War, like the first one, Soulstorm, and they had that in the mod, and it was fucking huge. Like it
Yeah.
was ginormous, and it was such a cool looking thing. And in lore, that thing is terrifying,
Yeah. I like
Like-
the idea of this hulking thing striding over the battlefield too.
and it
Mine's-
doesn't give a damn.
Mine's gonna be
And it's
kind of.
alive.
Yeah,
Mine's gonna be
It's
kind of.
awesome.
It's gonna be kind of basic, but with the Terran effects. Terran effects.
Turn
is pretty-
effects.
yeah.
Turn
I like it.
effects.
It's pretty cool. I mean, it's basic, but still, I like it. Leave me alone.
I'm gonna say I think it's the Malanthrope.
Malthrope, the guy that comes after the war.
Yeah, or the is it the hold on. It's either the Malanthrope. A close second would be the Zoanthrope, just because of Psychic Tyranid. It's kind of fucking frightening. But I think it's the Malanthrope that actually comes from a similar brood, specifically.
Well, because the
of
Malanthrope, that's the one where they come after the battlefield to like get the genetic material. If I'm
They
mistaken, right?
literally scour the planet, and anything that's alive still, they'll abduct and eat. I reposted it. You posted it a while ago on the Discord, Ryan.
Is it that? No. Okay, never mind. It's not that one.
Yeah,
It's
the
a,
Malanthrope is it
it's
never
a
fights.
different one. No.
Yeah.
I meant there was a different one. It's related, but it is another Psychic Tyranid.
Does
But
it look like the Malanthrope, like cloaks and shit?
no, it looks more like it's kind of like a cross between a maybe like a Carnifex or Pteranifex, but in a Zoanthrope.
I was gonna say Herospex.
Could it be that one?
This is what the Herospex is.
I'll look it up because it's
There's a lot of
Maleceptor.
weird Maleceptor.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
Maleceptor.
Okay.
because it's actually because the thing that makes it different. It's related to the Zoanthrope, but the thing that makes it different is basically the closest to just almost regular Tyranid, except it is psychic also. So you're
Yeah,
double
they
fucked.
have like a lot of weird ones that like they just get Cthulhu fucking tentacles and stuff,
Yeah,
and then they just instantly are just in tap with like being able to use psychic shit and stuff like that. It's so cool, the Tyranids, that they're able to do that shit.
hmm
The horror specs are cool too.
they're all cool.
They really are though.
Should pull up some pictures because they're beauts.
Actually, no, I mean, if Zaga wants to throw it up on the wiki, we can throw it up on the wiki. Show them
I
what
don't
like
have
these,
pictures of all of them.
to show that. Well, you can go to the wiki. Just go to the wiki and scroll down. It'll show you all the
Tyranid
pictures.
units. Hold on, I got
Yeah.
you.
And, you know, you can show them like some of the units and stuff of the Tyranids. Tyranid. Oh, by the way, you can either call them Tyranids, Tyranids. I mean, both one and the same at the end of the day.
Bitches to me.
Wow. You know, I hope one comes eats you right now. I mean, you never know. What if there was a Tyranid faction in our universe? I mean, I believe in aliens, you know, so you know, there could be.
If Tyranids existed in our fucking universe, we'd be done.
Oh no, I'd be out.
Right.
You
Vanto
gotta
just be
jump
like,
in some
take me.
lava or something. That's your only it's your only way out. And,
So I'm not being
to
taken.
ensure that your biomass is not going to be harvested, assuming it fries you fast enough.
Dude, imagine like you getting sucked, like somehow you're still alive through biomass.
I can imagine. No, it's fine.
And you're like just
I don't wanna.
God, that's so weird. Think about it. You're being sucked through like as in biomass, but you're still alive and you're able to see like
Oh,
and feel other
that's
people.
terrifying.
Yeah, because it reminds me of that movie. What's the movie called? Skyline. There you go. You know how Skyline the aliens like will suck up people's brains and stuff just to eat them. Have you ever seen like the continuation of that series?
Sean,
No.
I'm sharing my thing, but it's like not.
Oh, it's because I have to add it to stream. There you go.
Oh, okay. I was about to say that was
I
like
would
confusing the
imagine-
ever living shit out of me.
There's a story about how the Tyranids is from the point of view of like people on a space station, and essentially they get swallowed whole by a hive fleet ship,
Yeah.
and I believe it's just based on the description, they're being devoured alive by what sounds like rippers, if I'm not mistaken. The smaller
Oh.
Tyranid creatures, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
It could just be acid, intestinal fluids, but it sounds like rippers because they're just being like, it's just their craft is being torn apart, but at the same time, it's like it's leaking. They're leaking through in like just a wave, and it just washes over each one and just kills one by one.
No, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's insane.
That really is
Kind of dark,
interesting.
and it just really just
Kind of dark. That's dark.
It's not dark at all. What are you talking about?
yeah.
Biotitans.
That's the worst way to go, or one of the worst ways to go in 40K.
Let's see. What's our time here? All right, so we just had an hour. So we have just about, guys, about 20 more minutes.
I don't think we've talked about Tyranids nearly enough.
I mean, I want to try to keep like these podcasts more small and like self-contained, but we can. There's a lot to talk about. Don't get me wrong. Like we can talk about them more in the next episode, and then also talk about because I think with each faction if we're eventually gonna talk about like every faction, there's gonna be a lot to talk about, like a tremendous amount between each.
Oh yeah.
Like for sure.
So
So
does
we're gonna-
anybody? Oh, good.
And so we're gonna
Send us
try
some pictures.
and get these podcasts together at least like once or twice a month or whatnot, y'all, to to keep it organized so we don't like what's that word I'm looking for? Not tire ourselves out, but
Yeah.
we'll just say tire ourselves out basically. Put it like
Picture
that.
of High Fleet Behemoth.
Yeah.
And
So-
then what
so-
colors they were.
So what Bongos is showing guys, he's showing you guys pictures of what the Tyranids look like to kind of get an idea on who we're talking about.
This was the first Tyranids that we discovered. This was Behemoth. These are their colors and
High
stuff
Fleet
like that.
Behemoth. The interesting thing about Tyranids is that because they're such a widespread, so because they kind of just gain biomass, which meaning they eat everything and anything that's pretty much edible and several things that aren't edible. If they can get their hands on that biomass, or claws or teeth or fangs, enough of it, even if you kill enough of them, if you don't completely eradicate them, there's a chance that a hive ship can escape and create its own hive fleet. That's basically and start it all over again. Like I believe it was Hive Fleet. Kraken was started the second Tyranid war, and there's been splinter fleets that started their own fleets, which is interesting. I believe even after they took out Kraken, the next fleet, which was even bigger, was Leviathan, and that one was an even bigger problem because not only did it started coming from two different entry points into the galaxy, which caused it to have a interesting effect with the Shadow and the Warp, if I'm not mistaken, where it basically smothered other planets in the Shadow of the Warp, making it even harder to get through it. So then the only recourse was basically an extreme one by Inquisitor Cryptman, the same guy who basically discovered them. And he was just like, instead of allowing them to chew through all this biomass, here's what we're gonna do: we're gonna blow up planet after planet, exterminatus every planet in the way.
Exterminatus, yeah.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then
And y'all don't know
basically, yeah.
What's...
And
we'll talk about
basically-
exterminatus at a certain point.
basically scrub
Inquisitors.
all these planets clean of life until they get to a point where they have to. The only place to go is where we want them to, which would be an orc system, which is how the Octarius War started, and how a reoccurring orc named what's his name, Gasgul.
Gaskell
There you go.
Fraka.
He is now simultaneously. Is he still simultaneously doing that, where he's in control of the Octarius War, but also in control of the current Armageddon War?
He is in control of both of them currently.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah. So
He loves fighting, so if he can keep them going on for as long as he can, then
and that's
yes.
basically what happened until a couple of years ago, or
Mhm.
a year ago in story, where they basically advanced the story to the devastation of Baal and which is where the Tyranids fuck up Baal, but enough that they can still defend. That it's not completely fucked up, but it's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
And then, which the fun part of that is that, what was it? Who was was that when the Cicada Maledictum, where I'm getting ahead of myself with the Chaos War.
No, you're good. You're
happened.
getting it.
And then, if I'm not mistaken, that was when, or I might be
think
messing with
so.
the timeline, but there was one of the Chaos Princes was took that opportunity. I think the Tyranids were going to invade a moon, I think, of all. Was that? And then that Chaos Prince manifested,
So yes.
and then basically he cut off it was the Blood Angels from that moon until it was over, until the warp storm was over. And then when they got there, all that was left was Tyranid skeletons, or Tyranid skulls, in
Magus?
the shape of like a chaos symbol.
Magus?
What?
Magus did that?
You say Magus?
Did he do that?
I don't think it was Magnus. It was like a straight up print of chaos.
Oh, so it was
chaos.
just some. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was a specific one. It might have been Bellicor. Bellicor, one of the ones that has a hate boner for the Blood Angels.
I think it is Bellicor.
Bellicor.
Yeah, I think he doesn't specifically like.
Oh, yeah, and also
we know nothing about the queens. Yeah.
And keep this in mind, y'all. Like what's crazy with the 40K universe is 40K is basically fantasy except sci-fi. It's like they just flipped the script basically in a weirdly sense.
It's whenever.
If we were to talk about Bellicor is also like basically put it like this.
Bellicor is way scarier in the 40K.
Here, think of it like this. Think of it as a multiverse kind of deal where everything that has to do with chaos, it's like the conduit of the multiverse. So where you have fantasy in its own universe and you have 40K in its own universe, but they both share the same, conduit of chaos gods. So it's like, 40K they call it the warp. In fantasy they call it what do you call it in fantasy? I didn't just call it straight up chaos in fantasy.
It's just the waste.
Yeah, the wasteland is just straight up chaos.
Yeah, it's just the waste. That's it.
So
they don't have the warp. Like they don't know what that is.
Like I would like to
like the warp could very much be in fantasy. We just don't know it because we don't have psyker people.
Like the only thing I would like to say, like in fantasy, right, is like I would always think in my head the Eldar exist in fantasy for the simple faction that for some point that they both created, warp gate. Well, they created warp gates as an example. Like on both North and South Pole, and those warp gates fell, but they brought in the Rip of Chaos basically in a sense. Yeah. But that's just my like head canon. I know the Games Workshop said that they're not, those aren't canon like that, but you can wish though.
We know.
Update. It wasn't Bellicor. It was Kabanda. I think it's his name.
That makes sense. I know he doesn't.
Yeah,
he doesn't like angels.
And but basically everything I said was true. and
Yeah,
basically he's a bloodthirster of Khorne specifically, and yeah, so he did that. He basically they opened up the warp so big it swallowed High Fleet Leviathan bioships,
Damn.
which is massive in comparison.
It's scary
It's a-
to think because everyone else like really does think that like orcs or Tyranids or Necrons could be the end game event, like that.
Mhm.
Like those guys are the major ones, and which makes sense. But in my opinion, I feel like chaos is the ultimate. You
Oh, yeah.
cannot.
Oh,
It's
it's
a
always
great
good.
That
chaos.
is going to destroy
everybody
the
gets
world, the
chaos.
universe.
Yeah, it's always
Sometime.
good. Yeah, it's always good.
Nobody
chaos.
has a counter. I mean, except for like maybe the Necrons, but they're not big enough to
They
fight it.
have the interesting thing. Well, maybe I should say that.
Well,
when we
well,
talk
isn't
about
that
Necrons.
isn't that the Necrons? Real quick,
Oh.
like wasn't that their pylons were there to like kind of basically
Yeah.
they're made to stop chaos basically because
Yeah, they
in
can stop
reality here when you kill a daemon of chaos they don't really just die, they just get sent back to the warp. Like they
Yeah,
can,
Unless
but
you know their true
you
name.
can't kill a daemon.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you know their true name, they're fucked.
and so like those pylons there were there to strip away the warp, and so that was the whole meaning of Cadia basically. But that's an old different story with Cadia there.
Yeah,
You
we
know.
got the Death of Chaos,
But,
like an episode. Cicada.
What's
Estimate.
funny is recently, because of like the failure of like the quote unquote third Tyranids war, about those High Fleet splinters. So Leviathan splitting up into several High Fleets, and I believe it was High Fleet. What was the newest one? Kronos.
Kronos is a pretty new one.
Let me see. Was it High Fleet Kronos? It was one of them. Basically they made some new High Fleets. And they have a whole thing now, which they have like a specialty. High Fleet Kronos is red and black colors, and basically their psychic connection is so strong.
It's really
they're-
strong.
Yeah, they're basically able to snuff out chaos, which means they're able to stop chaos demons. They have
Like
an
that's
advantage.
that. I remember.
So-
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about because I know
Yeah.
Kronos was specifically made to counter chaos.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, they basically because they're a distinct separate brood, but they occasionally get reinforcements from High Fleet Leviathan to replenish their numbers because chaos chaos is it's one of the few things a biomass they can't eat because it's so poisonous to them. Like
Yeah.
it's too unstable. Like I think there was one story where a High Fleet ship was trying to absorb a planet with like Nurgle rot on it or
Yeah.
corruption, and it basically caused the High Fleet to basically go ew, and the
Yeah,
the other Hive ships killed that Hive ship to be like we can't no, don't touch that.
Don't touch that. That shit's
Yeah,
gross.
to be like no, we can't have that in our
See, yeah, that goes back to the Nurgle, like not just Nurgle corruption, but Tyranid corrupted chaos because they main Tyranids don't like them. They don't
Yeah.
like them at all when they mutate.
because they can't
into
really
that stuff.
consume them, but they're like
Mhm.
they're which I mean they can't really consume demon flesh, and like chaos whatever is always corrupted, so they can't really touch that. Except for High Fleet Kronos, which are basically their specialty squad for that. There's other ones, of course. I believe it was what there's several others. There's one that
There's
has
a lot.
I mean like new. Well, yeah, there are a lot. There's been some newer ones though. There's the ones that they have like a weird glow or aura. I think they have like plasma weapons or something like that. What is that? Kronos?
Grendel. I don't think Grendel's the one that glows. I know Grendel's the one that glows green, and they have
Yeah.
the same armor tint as Leviathan. Gorgon maybe?
Gorgon probably, and then there's High Fleet Ouroboros.
No,
which
Gorgon
are
is just the big ones where they go from. Big monsters.
Yeah, there's High Fleet Ouroboros, which has what was it? Oh, basically living flak jackets, basically. So they're resistant against kinetic armor or direct energy and kinetic force. And apparently they've made some kind of psychic beacon on a planet of Zyphora, which Death
Wait,
Watch.
is this a
group.
specific splintered one that you're talking about? Okay, that
yeah.
lowers it.
They
Which splintered? Which one?
I don't think it's a splinter, but it might be off of it's a minor high fleet. I don't think it says which one. But basically they made this huge like tower of like psychic energy. Like a living tower of and it's basically the implication is that it seems to be like a beacon almost for like other Tyranids that might be like extragalactic. But they haven't really, described in story. The only thing the only people that discovered was like a Death Watch group of Space Marines,
Yeah.
and it was one of those things where they went in and the Eldar went in before them and they perished immediately, and then Space Marines went in, and then their librarian started going crazy because of all the psychic energy, and then that was the last thing. Tyranids, specialized Tyranids. I love this idea. Inspires, Games Workshop to be creative and neat. Inspires players to be creative and maybe make your own or maybe.
I think it
Go
was
with
Grendel.
You can't
Grendel.
be too creative now.
I think it might have been. I don't know for sure, but Grendel seems to be the one that only glows specifically.
Funny thing. Imperium seems like to be the only ones in their own way when it comes to fighting the Hive Fleet or Hive, specifically because of our ability to get basically fucked by gene stealers.
You know what? I'm just sitting here. Oh, my bad. Keep going. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, we're probably one of the easiest races to be infected by gene stealers, just because the Tau have they're brainwashing the Eldar. They can be gene stealers, but it's harder because they already have a psychic connection, and it's slower to get infected by them. And the Orcs they'll just kill them.
Actually, the one that I like, there actually was a gene stealer story for Tau, and it was pretty interesting because they didn't want to kill him. They didn't want to kill the gene stealer at first, because Tau accept the alien for what they are.
Yeah.
And they kept them on that place, and they were experimenting and stuff like that until eventually someone started killing everyone, and they took over a small lab in there, and it took them in mech suits to go in there and exterminate them. But the Tau had one event of gene stealers, of the gene stealer cult pop up, and it was very weird because they were fully accepting of it.
Right. That's interesting. I do know there was actually a recent story of Eldar gene stealers, but it was more of, but they weren't. They were definitely trying to infect other Eldar, but they weren't having that shit.
Well, yeah. Well, for Eldar, it's definitely easy to snuff them. You can tell where they are.
Well, it was because they're their whole deal with the soul stones. I don't know if we're going to discuss it later on, but because of when Slaanesh came about and their souls basically got jacked up, they didn't have an infinity circuit to put their souls into to protect them. So they had to basically give in to the gene stealer. I don't want to say hive mind because I don't think it was fully Tyranids, but definitely the gene stealer mind. Which basically, I think it was the newer, the Yanari.
Yanari,
ones that ran into them.
Yes, yeah. I believe, it should, it's Yanari.
Yeah, what happened? Did they end up killing them?
40k Yanari. Yanari, 40k, the Yanari is the reborn faction, religious, blah, 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 blah. What happens with the Yanari?
I'm just reading. If I'm quiet, I'm just reading more of the Tyranids.
You're just so interested. So
yeah, I really am. The
Yanari believe that they could beat Slaanesh, huh?
There's a chance. Basically their big thing is the prophet Basikaroch, the laughing god. That apparently he's going to trick Slaanesh into saving the Eldar by pranking him.
That's where she's from. Gilly,
and
Gilliman's Gilliman's
Yeah, Yvrain.
Eldari GF is Yanari.
So what's
Imagine
happened?
tricking a freaking chaos god. Okay.
Yeah, what's happened? I mean, we're getting off tangents of Eldar, but like they actually did
It's because
a
they're kind of interesting
ceremony.
too.
What's funny is they did a ceremony that was going to awaken their, their god of death called Yanid. No, yeah. But the Space Marines interrupted it, so it couldn't awaken fully. But then Yvrain became their avatar of Yanid, and so now she has all the Yanari as like her new Eldar clan that are trying to accomplish the goal of getting the 5 bullshit swords and doing the MacGuffin. It's a whole thing, but
It is.
it's got nothing to do with Tyranids.
Nothing to do with them, but they're cool.
Yeah, but it's still cool. Anyway, let's see what else with the Tyranids. Oh, fun fact: there was a reliable method for killing Tyranids that they made. And it was basically setting fire to the atmosphere or something like that. And
Yes.
what happened was they found a way to do it. It was fairly reliable. So they filed it away and said, let's spread this to other planets or let's have this documented. And so they documented it, filed away. It went to the, what was it, the AdMech Administrator or whatever. And basically, they filed away so far that nobody else can find it. So it will never be found because of the Imperium's terrible management of like documents and stuff. It's just buried now.
No, I was just sitting here wondering about a Warhammer 40k version of Vampire Survivors.
Oh my god,
that could work. But
what are your weapons? Your weapons are bolter.
Dude, honestly, just really think of it needs to be done.
Shuriken launcher.
Write that down. Write that down.
Write that shit. Vampire Survivor Dev, do you hear us right now? We got to.
No, don't kill him. This is ours.
He's got to make his own thing. He's got to make. That would be neat. You just got to make a skin. Make a mod.
Make a mod.
That would be neat.
No.
I can see that shit.
Like literally, the first weapon is bolter. Shoot one direction. That's like your knives.
Necron Goss weapons.
Shoot, dude. Yeah, it can be done. Your power armor. Like you ever choose between a Space Marine, an Inquisitor, a Tyranid, melee Tyranid. Just imagine.
Yeah.
It definitely can be done though. But yeah, there's a lot more. I think we need to definitely do like a part 2 for the Tyranids though. Mm-hmm. Definitely. What do y'all think? Part 2?
I mean, that's what y'all want to do. I mean, honestly, in my opinion, there is a lot to talk about Tyranids, but at the same time, there's really not because they eat things.
Yeah.
That's really their that's their goal. That's their end goal.
Yeah. That's what makes them interesting.
I mean, we could talk about their high fleets all day, the battles they fought, the battles they immensely lost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they're going to surround us and kill us eventually. So, let's go to chaos. No.
Apparently, they crunched numbers and were like, in reference to like how many Tyranids are coming in, and to the galaxy and how many they need to fight. Apparently, they said, we straight up need to put a bolter in every man, woman, and child. Well, not necessarily a bolter, but every man, woman, and child and to stand a chance to fight them. Because like the way the numbers keep adding up, like they keep bringing in more.
It just keeps fucking going.
Yeah. So much so that even the Night King of the Necrons was like, who exiled himself like pretty much before the story started. Was like, I'm gonna circle back because these things are rotten.
These things are.
He left the galaxy, found Tyranids, and was like, I gotta tell somebody.
Like, guys, I think we're fucked.
I think we're fucked, guys.
Which is weird, because I think the only reason he did that was because there's the hope that maybe one day the Necrons will become flesh, and they can't do that if all the flesh is taken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had Necrons. That's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, most definitely though, next time for sure, we'll definitely get on into the Imperial. We can get the Imperial man out of the way and then we can go back to the.
Save the best for last.
The Imperium.
Yeah.
Was that where we're going with the Imperium?
We gotta talk about the Xenos first. No, we can talk about the
Yeah, we got to talk about the Xenos.
And then after the,
I don't know. I like to talk about the Xenos because I feel like there's
The
more to
Xenos.
learn about the
Well,
Xenos.
I think we should just get. Well, I'm trying to get with like we get rid of the humans first because the humans usually are always still what the boring faction. Because I mean, they're humans. What else are you going to talk about?
They really are until you get into the Space Marine part of it, and then it just starts getting kind of cool.
To be fair, it's like everything in Warhammer is interesting. It's just when you start with the humans, it's kind of just like.
It's like we kind of already know they got guns.
They
There's
have
overwhelming a lot of force of
they
them
have 5
to
fingers.
defend. They got 5 fingers. They shoot
2
guns.
legs. It's like
They got helmets on.
Let's do something else.
Like the one interesting part about humans is when they're like, all right, man, now these motherfuckers, they get surgery.
Yeah.
They get taller. They get bigger armor.
What about the what's it?
Adeptus Mechanicus.
Adeptus Mechanicus.
Because that's what
actually.
I'm actually gonna play that game pretty damn well.
It starts getting interesting.
And what about the Astra Milla?
Astra Military.
Yeah.
Well, you mean the Imperial Guard?
See, like 40k does humans justice. I'm not gonna lie.
Well,
because
they're just whipped into a frenzy.
Yeah.
Under threat of execution, and given a last job.
I mean, humans are very racist. You know, you see that dag darn what do you call it, Tyranid or orc over there, kill him. Get off my lawn. Get off my lawn.
Not because I'm racist, I just don't like him.
Yeah.
Get off my lawn.
I don't like
kind of shit. Yeah. But yeah, so
if you can't blow up that tank, throw your body at it until it chokes on the tread.
You gotta stop that motherfucker.
Treads. Yeah, you gotta stop
like.
it.
Literally, when I was playing a Space Marine, right? You know, of course, Space Marine, you know, the Forge world is attacking. It's like, even though this Forge world is being attacked, guys, you need to still make that quota. Like, bro, what?
That's because if you think about it, Space Marines do have technically more important stuff to be taken care of.
I mean, that's
the whole reason why they were sent there.
Well, it was like I get that, right? It's just like, but it's like when you hear that announcement, you say like, humans, we're getting attacked. It's okay. Just make sure keep getting the work done.
Oh, you're talking about? Yeah. Oh no, that's because the
Forge worlds are strategically important.
Yeah,
yeah.
Because there's a lot of shit going on in the Forge world.
You can let go, a shitty world, but you can just exterminate it or something if it gets too bad, or take it back later on. You lose a Forge world, you effectively could lose the whole sector.
Yeah,
true. Yeah, true.
That's why we hate orcs. They keep trying to steal our Forge worlds.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I think a Forge world. I mean, I think that's what Katie had. If I recall, Katie had like a force shield around its planet, or a shield around its planet. But like, I think Forge world, they should definitely have a lot more military batteries and be more prepared. You would think they would be more prepared by having air gun stuff. But then when you really think about those anti-air guns, could be outdated and stuff, and you have to probably take them bitches down and rebuild them up. That could take a couple years, a couple good human decades to do so. I mean, I don't know. I might be getting way a little bit ahead of myself, But yeah, I can see it. I can definitely see it. But what time? What's our timing here? We're at 1 hour and 30 minutes. Wow, we actually went way over. But
it's about like 1 hour and 20 minutes.
I mean, still, it's not too bad, honestly.
1 hour and 19.
I think my webcam is finally starting to give out on me.
But I think that's actually it for this podcast, y'all. I mean, like next time here, we'll dive more deeper into, I guess you could say, the Imperial Man and also the Space Marines. Talk about them as not as.
Don't worry, guys. We'll convince Sean.
Well,
we'll go into chaos next, guys.
We gotta save the best for the third for chaos, because we can talk deeply about chaos.
Don't worry, me and Ryan will convince him that we can do Necrons.
Sorry,
next.
Do you not see this? Do you not see this little boy?
Get him the fuck out of here.
You leave him alone.
Get him out of here.
I call him Bloodletter Bob. Okay, you leave him alone.
Bob can go fuck himself.
Sorry, my bad.
You dropped Bob.
Baby, are you okay?
That would be funny if it just shattered.
Yes, master, I'm good. Okay, so yeah, he's all good.
That's abuse.
Bob, I'm sorry.
That's abuse.
Or you can call him Bloodletter B, Fucking Bloodletter B. But y'all have any last things to say about the Tyranids, my guys?
There's too many high fleets to talk about.
Vanta, what about you?
No,
that's it.
I care about the high fleet.
Yeah.
I mean the Gene Stealers. Actually, I feel like the Gene Stealers.
I
should be a whole
think
different
okay. In my
conversation.
opinion, this is what we should do next.
Mhm.
Or we can do Imperium, but we got to give Gene Stealers their own
Episode.
episode. Like
'Cause
that's a
there's
whole different thing.
All right, then we'll do the Gene Stealers next then. And then
essentially
we'll do
just
Imperium.
gorilla Tyranids, if you think about it.
Yeah. They really
Yeah,
are. It's interesting. Well, yeah, we should definitely do that another one because they deserve their own episode too.
Technically, every Tyranid is a Gene Stealer, if you think about it.
Yes, yeah, they are. But this
I
one's
mean,
this one's special.
That's
full
what's
genes.
special.
If anything, they give genes.
Yeah, they actually do though. That's the,
It's weird.
we'll talk
Actually,
about it
I
then.
believe when they first. Okay, yeah.
There's too much to talk about Gene Stealer
Yeah.
cults. There really is. The Gene Stealer cults is when it gets interesting.
Right. But I believe they were their own thing originally.
They are. They are.
Yeah, they
even
were
in
there.
even in the tabletop, the Gene Stealer
Yeah.
cults are completely separated from the Tyranids.
No, I just
Yeah.
mean like literally, like they weren't Tyranids until they were.
Yeah. Because I believe I don't know if like the main guy there knows that a 5 fleet's coming to eat the world. I think he just does it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they probably know, but they don't know. And then
Yeah.
all their children are like ancestors. It's
Oh yeah. Well yeah.
Well, I do like
The-
that.
It's weird when the
sometimes
high
they
fleets finally come upon the cults.
Well, sometimes they help. Like they still help with the battles and set everything up, and still like shoot
you
Imperium.
know, though,
Uh,
here's a question actually. Has there ever been like a moment? I need to probably read up more of this. Has there ever been a moment where it's like the enemy of my enemy is my friend, as in
Technically
With-
with Eldar and the Space Marines.
yeah, like example here, like like Zago just said, Eldar Space Marines or Space Marines and Orcs. Like
The
chaos.
only reason why Space Marines and Eldar or Imperium of Man and Eldar ever work together is because the Imperium of Man know Eldar are not threats because they are too small to be fighting.
well, I think it's more or less everybody knows Chaos is a bigger threat, no
the
matter
bigger
what.
threat.
Yeah, also that.
Because the Eldar don't usually function that way, or at least in terms of trying
Well, they
like
think they're
infesting
high
the
and
world.
mightier because they don't want to
Yeah,
rely on
they just
other
show up.
things.
I mean, like you said, they're not necessarily a threat in the same way that Chaos or Tyranids or
Dark Eldar,
Dark
Orcs,
Eldar,
Tyranids,
Orcs,
Necrons, like those motherfuckers are threats.
those are world-ending threats versus Eldar. They're just like,
They're
we're just
there.
trying to stay alive, man.
Yeah, we're just
our
like-
people fucked up. We made this god, bro. We ain't
Pay
about
no
this.
attention to the hologram, man.
Hey,
Yeah.
not here.
Yeah.
I'm fucking your Primarch.
That's funny. So, depending on how you
Well-
look at it, the podcast today, honestly, was a good one. I mean, we were number 3. We were like number 5 on the search, and then we were like 5. We're like 5 and like 9 down on the search, depending where you look at. So,
How
it's not
did
bad.
you do that?
How did I don't know. I don't know, but like, yeah, we're actually pretty good today, honestly, on this podcast. Because we're the only probably pretty much like live podcast going on. So
Yeah.
we're high
We're
out
the
there.
best.
We're up there. in
Fuck
the-
these
in the
other
search.
guys.
But
Woo!
yeah, thank you guys for definitely coming on through. For you guys who did, I appreciate that. It was great to time to talk about Tyranids. Next time we convene together, probably next week or two. We're going to talk about the Gene Stealers. There we go.
You see the cult.
I'm sorry, Gene Stealer Colts.
Cult.
Colts.
And Gene Stealers.
But
Technically,
But-
those are two different things.
just keep following me here on YouTube and also on social media, and also if you haven't joined a Discord yet, you can click on a Discord on my main channel. You can click on the little icon down there to join Discord. But thank you guys for watching this podcast. Much appreciate it. You guys have a good night. Stay safe. Don't drink, stay out of trouble, and wash your hands and do whatever you got to do. Peace out, my guys. And